Hey, welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps, where we give you the information for you to make an informative decision at the ballot box. So welcome everybody, good to have you. A little change in the programming here. Lloyd couldn't make it tonight, so filling in is Bill Ronayne. So he's doing okay. So I think he'll do an excellent job like he always does. So we're waiting for Charles. He's having an issue with the link. I don't know why. I sent him the same link that I sent Lloyd. And let's see if I could find Bill's link that I sent him. I can always oh, hold on. Oh, wrong link again. I could just all right, hold on, folks. Almost got it. There you go. Got him the right link. All right, let's get the show on the road. Let's welcome all the way from Port St. Lucie, Florida. It is Uncle Bill. Welcome.
Howdy, friends and neighbors.
Howdy.
Are we here to? Is this politics or something? Is that what we're here to talk about?
Yes, it is. That's why it's called Three Conservative Gimps. And let's welcome all the way from sunny New York. It's Charles Galusky. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Bill, Art, everybody in the chat.
Thanks for making me an honorary gimp tonight.
Yeah.
So
we have a new deputy FBI director,
right?
Dan Bongino, former podcaster and formerly of the Secret Service under Obama, and so that was a good choice. What say you, Bill?
Yeah, he's had other law enforcement experience as well. He's eminently qualified. He's for assistant, sure, smart guy. I mean, the other side likes to lean on the fact, oh, he's a podcaster. People, you know what people do for a living to make money to pay their bills, and then they that's it. That's what they are. You know, it's the most obvious form of I don't want to say racism, but it's definitely social status jackass.
Right.
You know, you could be brilliant like Charles, you know, and work at McDonald's. That doesn't mean your opinion isn't better than theirs. And it's just people are ignorant.
Well, trust me, my amount of brilliance will just barely get you into McDonald's.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't know if I was going to felt like talking politics tonight, but I think you're going to get an earful out of me. It's the medication. But anyway, Dan Bongino seems like a perfectly fine candidate for that. He's certainly, and actually, I like everybody. I like everybody he's put in their jobs. Every one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
And so
got
they give
some.
me a reason not to like him. So far,
Right,
it's so good.
right.
And they're doing everything right. What was the other topic you wanted to talk about? There was Dan
We're going to
Bongino, and he
talk.
had two listed up there.
Yeah, the governor of Maine decided she's not going to comply with Title IX. That Trump, I guess, he changed it to where men cannot be in women's sports.
Yeah.
And
No, he reasserted it, is what he did. He didn't have to
yeah,
change anything. And I'm going by. Everybody saw that video. I would imagine. Maybe not everybody does saw the video at the governor's dinner, and President Trump just crucified her.
yeah,
So it absolutely did. We're going by state and federal law. So we are federal law. First of all, I said, and if you that's fine. And he just says what he means. And then Billy Bench, how would you like not to have any funding this year? We're talking about billions of dollars.
yeah.
States get a lot of money from of our tax dollars gets spread around. Maybe that shouldn't even be done.
Hmm.
At that, why? Like, obviously, some states are more well off than others.
Right.
We get that. And to keep the country happy and healthy, I guess you got to spread it a little. But that is the ultimate. That is socialism, isn't it? There's communism, in a way, shape, or form. Am I thinking too deep on that? Why do we have to take our tax money for? Well, there's good reasons to do everything we do, I guess, and we have a good country now. But the idea that I'm more stuck on the ongoing story with DOGE and the kickback and the punchback and the flashback and the fight back. And so, what are you fighting? The one side of their mouth just saying nothing he's doing is real. It's all vapor because blah 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 blah. Then the second side of their mouth, there, very 2 seconds later, they'll be talking about all these things that got cut and all these jobs that got lost. It's like, well, if it's only vapor, make up your mind. It obviously is saving money. It's just an absolute hypocrisy and a lie. And now that's I don't know who this Democrat was, but they were in public saying he should go back to Elon should go back to South Africa, basically.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a brand new news story. They're questioning his loyalties. Is he an American? Is he a Canadian? Or is he a South African? And they showed they showed a few people that brought that up. It's like the newest thing now. Because and she went on to say, he's only been an American citizen 22 years.
mm-hmm.
That's all. That's all. Although
Yeah.
to vote, 22. What the hell is wrong with these people? They're the same people that are defending the rights of people that came here illegally, and they want to help them stay here, and they say something stupid like go back to South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is wrong with these? To somebody who's created millions of jobs and billions of dollars in wealth,
Right.
he's actually spreading broadband internet all to the suburbs and all over the country with Starlink. Something the government's been trying to do for how many decades now?
Yeah.
How many decades now? And they're doing it for less money. In fact, hey, come on, people are nuts. He sold there. If he left there because he didn't want to be there, it's pro apartheid. Now, I mean, they're just pulling shit. They didn't say didn't worry about anything apartheid 6 years ago when they were buying his Teslas. Or 3 years ago when he was buying his Teslas and singing the praise. And he's going to Mars and he's reusing everything that he's done. It's been amazing. Because he didn't do it himself. Well, yeah, he did. He built those companies. He had that dream. He did the follow up. He did the work.
Mm-hmm.
And he paid the right people to do it. Yeah.
Right.
It's just amazing, and they make it sound like he's some kind of idiot, and he's trying to take over the world. And how he wasn't nominated, he wasn't elected. He doesn't have to be. He's a member of the staff. He's a member of the president's staff. He's there at the president's leisure. That department, the executive branch, is composed on basically one guy. The guy the whole country was the only elected person in office that the entire country votes on. That guy. And there's no other election when the country votes for one person. Unless you want to count the vice president. So, there are powers that extend from him, and he serves at his pleasure. And he could be gone at any minute. And he's doing it for free. but we got to question his motives. He's yeah, there was a contract given to him last year, 2 years ago, or subsidies, whatever. He's a businessman. He took advantage of what was available. That's what you do, But anyway, I'm very happy with how you guys feel about the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's not like his first term where he was just spouting off on Twitter and just making me cringe with.
You got used to that personality thing. I didn't like him at first, personally, but I liked everything he did. He did a pretty damn good job. He didn't do what he's doing now. He's going berserk. He promised to drain the swamp the last time. Well, he's doing it now. Yeah. And everybody's. I just recently heard someone on CNN said that we've got to understand that there's a what do you call them? This is recent. This is recent, like in the last week. Coup. He called it a coup. He called it a fascist totalitarianism coup going on in our country.
I thought it was a constitutional crisis.
Well, no, a coup. I mean, it doesn't even fit the definition. He was voted into office, you jackass. You don't get voted into in a legitimate election. We're talking about now. This isn't, and by a lot. Really, for Republican. I mean, to win the national vote. Now there's actually more registered Republicans than are Democrats nationally. Did you know that? That's like the first time in my lifetime. I don't know. It's weird. So anyway, doing a hell of a job, I think, and I'm very excited. And there's going to be some stumbles and falls along the way, and that's to be expected because they're unraveling decades and decades of crap and subterfuge and hiding this and that. These people are good at hiding this stuff. It takes smart people to dig this crap up. Right. Everybody keeps talking about the wowzers, the shockers. Oh, he was doing that. We sent X amount of money for a trans op or something. That stuff. That should be stopped. But that's nothing compared to what they're finding now. I mean, $2 billion is to Stacey Abrams controlled NDA. What? No, NGO. What was it? NGO.
NGO. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know? Do you mind me going on and on? I hope you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Good. I think it's a mess. Anyway, no. Stacey Abrams' organization was brand new in 23. And they received a total of $100. So you know what that is? That's the $100 that she put up to create as her first donation to create her nonprofit. So the next year, she gets a $2 billion contract, and with it came instruction. They actually sent a link with instruction. I swear there was a leaker on how to budget a large account and distribute funds. There was there's actually a video out on how to do it and what to do it. They sent her to the tour, which isn't that great? With the $2 billion. So I mean, it's like say and where is that money? They're trying to get that back. $2 billion. What the hell was she going to do with that?
Wow. Yeah.
Stacey Abrams.
Maybe she used it to buy her spot on Star Trek Discovery.
I don't know. They made such a huge ordeal, and she couldn't win an election to save her life. So, whatever. Mm-hmm. She's ridiculous. Another racist. I'm sorry. Joy Reid. Glad she's gone.
Yep.
Everybody got a kick out of some of the crazy crap that came out of her mouth. It irritated me. It really did. But anyway.
Speaking of NGOs, I saw a little blurb from Glenn Beck about the Tides Foundation and how foundations like that are money laundering foundations for billionaire Democrats to funnel money into it, and that's one of the things they did to flip Colorado from being a red state to a blue state. There was this thing called the Blue Book that was written by 5 uber wealthy Democrats. One of them is our governor, Jared Polis. There was Pat Stryker of Stryker Medical, or she was she inherited money from her grandfather, and now she's an uber rich billionaire up in Fort Collins, Colorado. She pretty much owns that town. And Rhett Bridges and a couple other very wealthy Democrats decided, they all got together and they said, all right, you know what? If we set up a whole gazillion of these little PACs, we could funnel money into those. And then that money gets spread out to all these candidates from dog catcher all the way up to governor of the state. And that's how they did it. They were able to, within 20 years, they were able to take Colorado, which was a pretty red state when I came back in 81, and they turned it into a blue state. It's now as nutty as California because the Democrats have, well, they don't quite have super majorities in the state house or senate, but they sure have a shit ton of people that get rammed through just silly crap in there. Now, one of the bills that they're trying to ram through is they're trying to make it illegal to own a firearm that has a detachable magazine. Oh my God, that would mean just about any semi-automatic weapon except the revolver. So that'll be thrown out as unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. But hey, they'll ram it through, and our governor, who wants to be president someday,
And spend a shit ton of taxpayer money trying to get that result. Trying to get that, even though they know it's never gonna pass. They know that right from the get go. This is just posturing. It's all it is. It's posturing. It's giving face time to their constituents. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's just another waste of American tax money.
And don't revolvers have like a speed loader thing where you can load all six shells at once?
Right. You can buy speed loaders for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all you'd have to do really is swing it out. You might have to tap them out. They may just fall out, but usually you got to push while you tap them out. And then, but
Yeah,
so
then,
when you put it
so
on
then
there,
I'm sure because of that, revolvers would fall under that as well.
Yeah, they'll figure out.
It's a separate device. It's not integral to the. And most people don't. I don't know a lot of people that have them. What's the point of that, really? I mean, if you're doing a lot of targeting, I guess so. But that's not a common thing. Revolvers aren't a common thing, really. Not any. I mean, I like them. I have one.
Yeah,
but,
I do too.
But yeah, but it's not like a pop in a magazine either. You got to line it up, line the bullets up, hold it upside down like this, turn a little knob, and then the 6 or 8 whatever bullets drops in, and then you got to close it up, and then you're good to go. So it's not like in the movies.
Yeah.
Or they toss it in the air and they catch it in the gun. See a lot of that. Magazines flying through the air and grabbing them like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People believe anything. Speaking of people believe anything, let's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our congresswomen, she said we got to do something about these magazines. They make the bullets bigger. What? That was our congresswoman from Denver, Diana DeGette. Wow, our brightest.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? Here's a big topic we haven't discussed yet. Is the war in Ukraine?
Right.
and the attacks on him now, that all he's been doing is meeting with Russia, and that they're basically insinuating that he's just negotiating for Ukraine cease, like Ukraine loses the war or whatever, Ukraine capitulation, and they're not, because like they're blaming Ukraine for the thing. There's problems on both sides, but really,
Right.
whatever stops the killing now is what he wants to happen. And
Right.
let's not forget, a big reason a part of this happened is there was whatever that eastern region of Ukraine is, they actually voted pro for that area, that county or whatever it is called, pro-Soviet government there.
Right.
They want to be part of Russia.
Right.
Well, if that's what happens. That's what happens. You know what I mean? But people could stop dying now, please. That'd be great.
Right.
Because the idea that they're just going to leech a little bit of, it's like Vietnam. This thing will go on forever and ever and ever. People just keep dying and dying and dying. It's got to,
Right.
you got either blow them all away and end it, or stop. I'd rather they
Right.
stop. I'd rather they stop.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's my 2 cents. And whose fault is it to begin with? Well, a lot of players. Russia, of course, absolutely, 100%. Ukraine, partially, and our ex-president.
Yeah.
People forget that. They make it sound like this is Trump's war, but they forget that he used the term here. Russia. He suggested he would face minor consequences if it restrained itself to but a minor incursion into Ukraine. Now, if you step in with that much weakness, forget it. The conversation's over. They're going to do what they want. Seriously, and they did. And it's just been billions of dollars of our treasure.
Right.
Tens of thousands of gallons of their blood, and we're just going to keep this going. No, it's got to stop. What do you think of the idea about wealth sharing on their rare earth elements and like that? A contract like that could make them a partner with the United States. They don't have the wherewithal to actually mine this stuff efficiently, so that's our part in it. It's a fair and balanced trade. They could pay us back what they owe us. Other countries have had to do that. England had to do that after World War II. So did Japan. And it took them a long damn time, but they did. So here's one way they could do it and make money at the same time. I mean, how great is that?
Yeah.
And lessen our they're talking about lithium. I mean, and lessen our import from China, which is a great thing. It'd be great. And if we have industries there, Russia's not attacking there.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. Don't forget that. If there's enough Americans and there's an industrialized area like that, they're not attacking. It's just not going to do it.
Right.
Unless our president says, a minor incursion would be okay. Yeah, God. Make sure you turn the lights out when you leave. I don't know. Does that make sense to you?
Yep. Sounds good. So, didn't we pass a budget?
Yeah, so far. Part 1.
All right. And wasn't in that budget no taxes on tips and overtime and Social Security? Wasn't that in there?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I guess
I know they put in the extension of the 2017 tax cuts, and right now that's very important to me.
right.
To me, it just is, because I do save money on that. Actually, we all do. So does the whole country.
Right.
yeah.
So that's very important. So that's step 1. You got to continue that. But they didn't get enough leverage to make it law, so they could never take it away. But but that looks like so far, step by step. 6 weeks in office. Give it some time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There might have been other things with tax. No tax tips, I think, might even be in there. I don't know. The Democrats also campaigned on that. Just to be
Yes, they
clear.
did.
Just to be clear. So if they turn around and say all of a sudden we can't afford it, it's just the hypocrisy is just amazing.
Uh-huh.
When it's Trump's idea, it's going to cost us trillions of dollars. When it's their idea, it's, oh, how original. It's crazy.
Mhm.
But that and the Social Security. Social Security one, I wasn't aware that about 40% of the Social Security recipients don't pay income tax anyway. But I say no income tax in Social Security.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
income. It's not income. It's money basically that you've earned over the course of your
Right.
life.
Right. It's kind of like a 401k.
Right.
Originally, that's what it
Now, if
was.
they can show me that they're paying it to me with interest, I'll pay tax on the interest gained, but you don't get back what goes in. you,
Right.
you just don't. You don't. People don't generally live long enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, unless you're 150 years old.
Well, or 360. So wasn't there one that was 360 or something like that? Unbelievable. And people are upset. He's shutting down offices.
Mm-hmm.
How else? You want to save Social Security and Medicare? Okay. Make it not dirty. You know,
Yeah.
make it legitimate. Make it honest. What a totalitarianism. He doesn't want to pay grifters money for taking advantage when there's people that could use the help from Medicare, Medicaid. I mean, if it's stronger, hell, they could start doing Medicare at 60 instead of 65. You know,
Right.
if the money was there,
Mm-hmm.
why is it magically 65 anyway? What happens at 65th birthday, and your pancreas gives out?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, Art farted.
Huh?
I'm glad we got intellectual discussion going on in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool Cat said something interesting, considering, where is he, Canadian? To be fair, the hypocrisy is coming from the same people who can't distinguish male from female,
Right.
or they believe that Israel is committing genocide
Mm.
and calls
Yeah.
anyone disagreeing with them as Nazis. Well, yeah, fascists.
Uh-huh.
It's fascist lately. Yeah, or they're heading back to Nazi again. I
Yeah.
don't know. It just never ends. No discussion. A better way to do it. Just we can't
Mm-hmm.
accept any change at all.
Right.
Whatever.
I have a coworker who believes Israel is carpet bombing Gaza.
Yeah, they're idiots. They're idiots. Israel has the fifth most powerful air force in the world.
Right.
They're a major power. If they wanted that entire region to be nothing but rubble and nothing, an anaerobic life, maybe they could do it. They could
Yep.
flatten that. They could cave in those tunnels. They could flatten every single building. This is not genocide. Shut the fuck up.
I know.
Is it genocide
Yeah.
when the other countries won't accept them as refugees? You're going to name them in the genocide ring because if where they're staying is going to kill them and you won't let them in your country, I mean that's a
Mm-hmm.
true refugee, isn't it? By the way, unlike the
Mm-hmm.
ones that are escaping from Mexico and Guatemala and South America, they're not coming from a war-torn area where there's a major power blowing up
Mm-hmm.
buildings in your neighborhood. To me that would be a legitimate excuse to come on in, neighbor. Get out of the rain. It might be a bullet or a rock or a building or your sister. I mean, it's got to be terrible there. That has to end. That has to end. And I don't blame Israel at all. I think they've shown great restraint. If
Yeah.
the United States had some small country on its doors and invaded and killed thousands of people and kidnapped them and killed babies, they showed videos bragging about it. What do you think we would do? I mean,
Yeah.
what would any sovereign nation do? What would Iran do? What would any sovereign nation do? They've shown great restraint. They really,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because the people, while I feel bad for them, they're still cheering Hamas in the streets.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
They're cheering when the caskets of little babies, hostages, are coming back. They were cheering and singing and dancing. I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with these people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a terrible thing to say, and it sounds racist. And I'm not talking about Palestinian or Arab people or as a people or anything like that. I'm talking about that group of people.
Right.
There's definitely something wrong there. Got
Mm.
nothing to do with race. It's ideology. ideology.
Yeah.
Being at war with Germany, there wasn't a soldier that would want to kill the child. You know, if there was, he was a psycho and he didn't belong there. You know what I'm saying? It's beyond the thinking of the Western world to have armies that believe, look, babies and children. I don't say it didn't happen. They're psychos.
Mm-hmm.
To them, it's part of the game. It's part of the thing. We're infidels. We don't deserve to breathe. It's incredible.
Yep. Yep. And that's what the concentration camps were all about. That's, and yeah, it was a sad thing, and we're still dealing with it.
No, I mean, but they were upset politically, whatever. They were given Gaza by Israel. What, in 2005?
Mm-hmm.
They just ceded the territory and left.
Yep.
I mean, they control the electricity, they control the water. That's because no one's developed it on your side.
Mm-hmm.
Get foreign investments, all these rich neighbors and allies and like that, and develop like every other fucking area. They got ocean view, they got everything. It could have been nice. No, instead they just waged decades of war against Israel because they want it all. But they're the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And we got people in Congress that cheering them on, like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar.
And I don't want to get into the whole history of it. Oh, the Palestinians were there, the Jews were. Yeah, that was. We can go all the way back to the beginning, when it was Judea. The Romans named the Palestine. There was no Palestine people at the time. Everybody that lived there was called that, including the largely and mostly Jewish population.
Mm-hmm.
After the uprising, after Rome destroyed them. But anyway, that's ancient history. We're not talking about that. We're talking about now. It's a country. It's a sovereign nation. It's you can be any religion. To me, it's a country that other countries in that region should emulate. You could be any religion and be there and be not hassled or harried. You can have it's like going to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You'd
be gay.
You could be anything.
Right. They even have
a lot of countries in that region of the world that you don't end up in jail for being yourself.
Right.
And you want to support that.
Yep.
I don't know. I think maybe Trump's right. Turn Gaza into Disneyland or whatever he wants to do. It's real estate. Well-to-do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Hopefully it gets worked out.
I get kicked out of people who say, "Oh, there's apartheid in Israel." I'm like, what? Come on. They're as free as we are here in the United States. Anybody could
the Palestinians would actually work in Israel. They would cross the border, go to Israel. That's where their jobs were.
Right.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm. And what else is going on? We talked about Tides Foundation and how they're laundering money. We call it dark money, and Tides Foundation wasn't always a liberal organization, just like the Ford Foundation. You know how they became liberal? Well, liberals started getting on the board, and they changed it. And that's what we have to do. We have to start getting on the boards of these foundations, and eventually, until we get more of our people in, we either change the direction, or we could just say, you know what, let's end it. And that's it. Just say, we don't need this anymore. We're done. Close shop. That's the same with a lot of these county boards that they have. Like we actually have well, in a lot of these counties that are around the metropolitan areas, and even in cities, they have a diversity board. And all it is, it's a bunch of liberals that are on these boards and they're grifters.
Yeah.
They don't produce anything. They don't do anything. They don't serve the people. They don't have a
They act as watchdogs and intermediaries to lawyers.
right,
People come to them, they hook them up with a lawyer, and then they start suing, and that's what they are. They're just a form. It's a form of money. It's graft, really, to tell you the truth. And it's
right.
bullshit.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of organizations. That's all they are. They're waiting for a complaint to start a lawsuit and make some bucks. That's it.
Right. Hmm. And back in 2010 to 2012, I was on the Aurora Open Space and Advisory Board. And you know what? That was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. And we had a pretty good balance of liberals to conservatives. But,
I
because it
never heard
was,
anybody say fun when it came to government. What do you like about working in the government? It's fun. I don't know. I've never heard anybody say that.
well, we had each one of the members had their own little
Oh, the
private,
NSA. Wait a minute, I forgot the NSA. Weren't they? The NSA was having fun, weren't they?
right. Hmm.
Sexting each other on the company.
Ah,
You know that story?
no,
Oh, it's a huge.
you tell.
I believe it was the NSA, and they fired 100 employees because they had this little
Oh, yes.
online sex tryst thing using NSA's computers.
Oh, my. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just
That's why they were talking about penetrating radar.
God. Yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Look at the bombers on that gal. Yeah.
That's the future right there. Who needs electric? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but that's the remainder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great picture, my friends. It's a Walmart parking lot. You can take anything there.
Yeah.
God bless Walmart. Carolyn Levitt is a special guest. How great is she?
Yeah.
How great
She
is
is
she?
good. And we got the
Her-
receipts. I'm like,
At, the, at her age, to be that, I mean, she is just, I don't know, maybe she's older than she looks. How old is she? 30?
She's 27
27.
and
Yes.
absolutely sharp as a tack.
Yeah, yeah. I don't care whether you like her politics or not. That she's good, you know. She
Mhm.
handles it like an old salt, you know.
Uh-huh.
Handles the press, handles everything. Oh, there's another big stink. All right, politics. We'll go off in another direction. Is they're making a big stink out of the fact that the White House has taken over who gets to be at the press conferences. I don't have a
Huh.
problem with that. Why would you have a problem with that? Because they would decide not only who goes. The press corps did this. They would decide who actually got to ask questions. I mean,
Right.
that's crap. And I know everybody's going crazy over the fact that they're going to let smaller organizations in, more modern ones that are more online based, you know. And they got a problem with that. So, why? That's
Yeah.
why. Why not
Yeah.
let more of the American public talk to him? They're making it sound like, oh, because he's going to fill the room with, you know, nobody but that's he's. If you've seen him talk, you think he's afraid to talk to people who don't agree with him? I think he enjoys it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just love the way everything's been going. I just hope it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Got a good feeling. You know, not everything will, because of the courts. They'll all go through. He's got a legal team behind him. He knows what when he's pushing beyond.
Uh-huh.
It's not stupid. You know, he's taking back the executive branch. The executive branch has become weaker over the last 20, 25 years anyway.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's just what a thrill ride, though. What a change of pace from Joe Biden
Yeah.
to in the press every day. And it's well, he doesn't want hard questions asked to him. He was asked in the first month. He answered over 1,000 something questions. Or they showed this over in the first month. Biden answered like 140 something. You know,
Right.
like 140 something. He's certainly available. They make themselves available like every day. So I don't want to hear that that he's afraid to answer questions or he's not approachable. Like, see that to me again. I know I'm just talking like a Trump maniac, but I don't like when people are just full of crap and they just present without anything to back it up, and it pisses you off. They're calling. There's no evidence that Elon Musk is pro-apartheid. Him personally, well, because his grandfather was politically. What's that got to do with him? What's it got to do with anything anyway?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He wanted to live here. He didn't want to live there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the one guy went off, said, we are his third choice. That wasn't quite like that. His mother was already a Canadian citizen. That's why Canadian was the stopover. That made it easier, That's all.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not a press freedom issue. No, it's not a press freedom issue. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But they have 180 reporters in there now. They have like 4 times as many as they normally let in. It's
right.
And
you know what? It's a privilege to even be there.
Right. Being part of the free press doesn't mean everybody gets a chance to ask him a question personally.
Right.
The press covers events. They don't necessarily have direct one-on-one access with the president.
Right.
The president's got every right to pick whoever he wants out of that crowd.
Right.
It's his press conference. You know what he can do? Otherwise, he can turn around and walk off the dais. That's what Biden did. I mean, except he never got on. Because he was going to ask questions he didn't want to answer, which was like any question. Pick a topic. He might even start on that topic, but he'd be like me. He'll be somewhere else in about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Yeah, he had 0 people behind him first term. People don't understand that, too. The Republicans didn't like him. He was fighting an uphill battle even when they had control.
Right.
But he still did a good job. Still got a lot done. Look at the peace agreements.
And a lot of those never Trumpers are gone now. There's only a few of them left, like Romney and McConnell. And they've really toned it down quite a bit. And both of them are not going to seek re-election. Yeah.
TJ asked, who's Carolyn Levitt?
Yeah, and Jay Bird said press secretary.
TJ. Google I bet you watches her after he sees what she looks like. Who's that? The president's press secretary rocks. We like her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, seems like a good girl, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not a UNR now, no longer fit purpose either. They either need to do span. Yeah, well, I'll start over again. What does the UN actually accomplish? Seriously. I mean, for us. I mean, really,
UN?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not a damn thing.
Yeah, they were originally supposed to take the place of the League of Nations, where the League of Nations fell apart.
Right.
And then after the Korean War, they just kind of started falling apart, at least in my opinion.
It just seems like an organization meant to make smaller countries able to stick it to larger countries.
Right.
It really does seem that way, because and by larger I mean wealthier,
Right.
which is whatever. I don't know what they accomplish at all, to tell you the truth.
Hmm.
But that was the problem with the first one. League of Nations didn't work. Oh, World War One happened. League of Nations didn't. So they got rid of it. Then they come back with this one. What does this one ever accomplish? What war did it end or start or stop?
Right.
It's bullshit.
Well, to be fair, they did prevent a third world war.
When did they do that?
Well, have we used any atomic weapons since
You mean
World War?
because there's been no third world war yet? It's because of the United Nations? Oh,
Well,
got it.
because,
I wouldn't have put that together at all. I wouldn't have. I'm not kidding. The only thing stopping third world war is the United States and China not wanting to kill each other.
Right. It's true.
That's it. That's all it's going to take.
Right.
It's not profitable if the world's dead. So,
Yeah.
They're doing.
Yep. As Quark would say
Well,
in Deep Space Nine, there's no profit anymore.
I'm just saying.
People dying.
I don't think China wants world domination by destroying the world's economy, because that's what they would do in a war. You know what I mean? I don't. Nah. I think we're okay for a while.
Right. I agree. But if you want to watch, there was a really interesting program on Time Ghost History about human rights. This was after World War II, and the UN is getting going, and they talked about, classical liberalism. And they went all the way back to Aquinas and a few other philosophers around that time, and how people viewed liberalism and how it evolved over time, and it evolved into human rights. And I thought it was a really good program. It explained how it started and where we've been since then. So the name of the program is War to War. And this is their segment after World War II. They talk about events and things that have shaped our future. Like we just started the atomic age. And cool cat. Okay. So, you know what? If I could get a link to that, I will put it in the chat.
Let's look up what you were asking about the taxes in the House bill. Okay. They're calling it one big beautiful bill. Huh. $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. That's what they're saying. Right along party lines, of course. 217 to 215. The bill sets up a plan to extend the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act by giving the House and Ways and Means Committee authority to pass $4.5 trillion in tax cuts over the next decades. They're doing it by a dollar amount instead of a period of time. Oh God, you can play with that. That's messed up. A slew of provisions that are in the law are set to expire at the end of 2025. President Donald Trump has pressed to make those tax cuts permanent, as well as other tax cuts he campaigned on, such as ending taxes on Social Security income and taxes on both tips and overtime. So that wasn't in it.
Alrighty. And here is the link.
You know, okay. Before you do that, I just want to say something real quick. A lot of people keep talking about, his tax cuts are for the rich, and I'm tired of hearing that. People are uninformed. Without the extension of the 2017 tax cuts, U.S. farmers would face nearly $8 billion in higher taxes next year, according to a USDA Economic Research Service report released in 2024. Farmers would see higher tax rates, especially with off-farm income. What would that do to cost of food in the supermarket, by the way? Let alone what it's going to do to these poor people. So they have to pass. If you want to try to get inflation under control, they have to pass this. Farmers would get screwed the hardest. That's great. I know I'd get screwed. But anyway, thought I'd bring that up. The richest, farmers.
Yeah, and they're bitching about no taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. How does that benefit the rich?
I don't know, but I'm going to watch that tonight. Let me click that link. I like World War II stuff. But this is War II war.
War II war. This is post-World War II.
Okay.
It's really good.
Help me sleep.
Channel. Go check it out. And they have a new channel. It's called the Korean War. And I'm learning a lot about the Korean War.
Okay.
And very interesting because you really don't learn a whole lot about the Korean War in high school, because it was kind of that.
It was a police action.
Yeah, police action between Vietnam and World War II. That's all we knew. And this explains how it all started and what happened and some of the good things that we did and some of the blunders that nearly cost us the war later. And how it just became a stalemate because people were worried about another war, especially a war with China. Nobody
Douglas
wanted to.
MacArthur took it too far. That's all.
Yeah.
He did. He just went too far. It didn't have the authorization to take over the entire country, but he was acting like it. He just went too far. And he didn't get the support that he needed to finish the job. And that's it.
Yep.
But he went too far, though. He overextended his supply lines. He just,
Yep.
But with enough support, they could have done it. But the Chinese came in, and then all of us, there was just a lot more people dying.
Yep.
Same thing with Vietnam.
Yep.
But, I mean, we got what set out was to keep North Korea out of South Korea. They set a border. Yep. They've been out since, so, that was the original goal anyway.
Yep. And we kept the Chinese from taking over Taiwan.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, the nationalist Chinese, they were an authoritarian regime as well. They weren't really keen on democracy, but the Kuomintang, which was Chiang Kai-shek's regime, they still control Taiwan, but those people elected that party because their economy is booming. And
They basically escaped to that island, to that island. Is what happened. The communists took advantage of what the Japanese were doing, the Chiang Kai-shek's armies, and basically took over the country. World War II caused the communists take over of China. And they turned Taiwan into one of the richest little frickin' islands in the world. Now, that's ours. What are you talking about? Look at them. Don't they look like us? That's ours. So that's what's going on there. Yeah. Imagine that. Capitalism. Look what they did to that island.
I mean, look what happened with the...
Well, they're half-ass capitalists now anyway, the Chinese. They're communism in name only, I think, at this point. Except for the imperial leadership and the ridiculous edicts and lack of freedom. Their business acumen is I mean, they trade with everybody. So that's not... There's only one communist country like them there's ever been, and it's them. So, whatever.
Well, don't forget Cuba.
What about Cuba?
They're communists too.
Yeah.
But they don't really trade.
Do we do trade with them?
Not a whole lot, but
it's illegal to buy cigars from them for what, 75 years?
Yeah.
Did they open it up? I think they opened that up, right?
I think they have.
I don't know. If they did, it's recent. Yeah, they don't typically do business with them, but these guys, they'll do business with everybody.
Well, what do they got?
That's like capitalism with a totalitarian government. What everybody's afraid is happening here. That's what China is. There you go. Figured it all out just now. Elon is doing to the U.S. through the DOGE plan what he did when he bought Twitter. He's making important cuts and streamlining government and sure.
Yeah.
Sure. He's trying to run it more like a business. It's never going to be exactly a business. There's always going to be government protections and craziness. But people at least got to show up for work. I mean, our money's got to be actually productive. I mean, even if they don't do a good job, they're there working, doing the best they can. You at least want that, not, it's too much. I'm not going to answer Elon Musk's email. No, why? Take you 10 seconds. Take it 30 seconds. 5 things you did last week. You worked all week. You can't think of 5 things. It could be simple. It could be I balance blah blah blah. The book, the whatever books whatever you're responsible for. I don't know what government agency. Name of the government agency. I don't know. Something having to do with some kind of accounting or data. I logged this data on Monday and Tuesday. I logged into the same account, logged that much. And Wednesday I did this. Whatever. The simplest data entry job could give them 5 things you did. But you got to respond. They're just, maybe they want to get fired. Maybe they're jealous. They want that 8 months.
Yeah, it could be, or the severance package too.
Yeah, 8 months. 8 months severance with benefits. That's very generous. You had to make it that way. Made it easier than just firing everybody. Because the ones that don't really want to work are going to take that deal, or they don't want to work there. They're going to take it. Let me tell you what. 8 months pay, it sounds great, but if that's my career and that's where I want to be, I'm not taking it. Right? I'll come to work. So right off the bat, you're grooming a better staff. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yep. We're
people that want to be there.
We're trimming the fat and making government more efficient. And
you think that'd be the bare minimum? For a job. Competency would be nice too, but at least wanting to be there, I think, is primary.
Well, we've pretty much covered an hour, and we covered a whole bunch of topics today. Bill, thank you for filling in, and hope you are on a speedy road to recovery.
Thank you. I am a gimp tonight, by the way. There's a bag sitting over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to walk around carrying a bag.
Wow.
I have in-home nursing.
Oh, there you go.
What happened? When
Well,
did I get so old?
next time you go to the airport, you could say carry on.
Like you can't bring liquids.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for
Or
coming. I hope you enjoyed it.
if you handed it to some obvious left kid, you could go, "Carry on, my wayward son."
Carry.
Oh,
Clever. Now that song's in my head. Thank you.
Have a great week, and don't forget my show tomorrow night, which is an hour earlier. And since I'm not working Saturday, we could go on a bit longer. So take care and take it easy. Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.